Good morning, creatures. Welcome back. I feel like it's necessary to start off this episode with apologizing that I skipped last week. In my defense, I did say I had to work some things out. That way we could be back in action. So, a couple things. One, all of those are being worked out right now. I'll explain that a little later in another episode when everything is kind of finalized with it. Number two, I got really sick and it just seemed really disrespectful to make you guys hear my voice like that. So kind of just avoided it and I apologize for that. But we are back in action. And I don't think I'm going to get into like a specific topic today, but there are a few things that I want to talk about, including other people's journey and how that aligns or does not align with ours. I want to talk about it because you can be on this incredible path and this incredible journey and grow and learn so much. And realistically, if you put yourself in a little bubble and kind of go into hermit mode, which I'm notorious for, it's great. But you also have to step back into reality, and other people are always going to be involved. And it just seems that on this journey, other people are your biggest triggers. So, unfortunately, when other people's journeys coincide with ours, we get to deal with, as good people, other people's projections, their insecurities, their own childhood trauma, their own defense mechanisms. And I think that we naturally find it very difficult not to take these things personal, but there are ways around that to be able to not take it personal. So that's kind of what I wanted to go through a little bit today, is just truthfully discussing the things that we go through with other human beings and how not to take it personal, which I don't have all the answers for that. So I'm just going to give you what I do. I'll give you a little reasoning on why I want to talk about this and why I think this is so important for us to know, because this also coincides so well when it comes to our boundaries and our self-love and our self-worth and our awareness and the ability to slow down and really see things for what they are instead of what's happening, which is also the exact way on how you learn not to take these things personally. So it all kind of just groups together. And I know I've had a huge struggle in the past for a very long time that I did take so much personal when somebody hurt me or did something wrong to me. And now that certain things like that just don't faze me, I just see it in a different light. And I'm so super aware of other people and their actions and their reactions. And when you get to a place where you have control over your emotions and you have emotional intelligence, I get so irritated when people project. And it doesn't have to be on me. It can be on anybody else. It can be just something that I see. And there really was a point in time where I had to humble myself and go back to the Alyssa that's understanding and forgiving. Because like I said, not everybody is going to be on this path and they're not going to have the tools to be able to go through the things the way that we can go through them. Where I found the difference in all of this and like my favorite balance between being humble and understanding and being frustrated that these things keep happening around the world, I just happen to be a little more willing to call people out now. And of course, I'm going to call it out in like the best way and the nicest way that I possibly can. I'm not ever just going to degrade a human being for the things that they don't even know that they're going through, the way that they're acting because of something that's happened that they don't even realize they're doing it. But being an understanding person and being a forgiving person does not mean that you allow people to treat you a certain way just because you are that person. Here's the thing. What is okay is for you to have emotions and not be in control of them. It is okay to have insecurities. It's okay to have defense mechanisms when it pertains to you. What is not okay is for you to project any of that onto another human being. And yeah, I can be understanding, but it will blow my mind for the rest of my life how unaware people are of themselves. I don't know if the world knows this or not, but you don't have to act on your insecurities. You don't have to act on your triggers. You don't have to act on your traumas. And what you definitely don't have to do is blame anything other than yourself for all of it. Do you want to know the hill that I will die on? It is that you are not a product of your environment. None of those negative experiences created you to be who you are. You created you to be who you are. So you had two options of a path. You went through the things that you went through, and you either took the path of learning that lesson, becoming a better person because of it, or you took the path of just blaming the world. I can't stand that. Blaming the world and then never fixing the problem, and then literally just spending the rest of your life being a victim and playing the game that it's everybody else's fault. I'm going to relax a little before I get frustrated. I'm not going to spend too much time on the other person because I know it'll just frustrate me anyways. So I want to focus on us. I want to focus on what we do through all of this. Because yes, the way that people treat you is a reflection of themselves, but how we react is a reflection of the self-worth that we have. If you have been constantly asking or trying to move forward in your career and you are not being valued, you feel like there's no room to grow. And the thing is, you will always be able to feel this. In every part of your life, you know if you're receiving something that's less than you deserve or not. So step number 1 for you guys, and this is so important, stop asking and start demanding. If you want that raise, you want that promotion, demand it. If you don't receive it because you know that that's what you deserve, leave. Please, can we normalize leaving that we know is less than we deserve? We need to accept the concept that we will never change another human being's mind. And there is nothing wrong with that because nobody can change yours either besides you. That relationship that you've been staying in, that you know deep down to your core, whether they have potential or not, that you're receiving less than bare minimum or the bare minimum, and it's like pulling teeth every single time you ask for something. Stop asking. Start demanding. If you do not receive, then leave. I'm going to make a song out of that for you guys. I know I have already said this, but you do not have to deal with anything that does not make you happy in life. Every single thing that you go through is a choice to go through it. Unfortunately, especially when things start going south, you get into this emotional spiral when you're going through any form of turmoil in the slightest. Those spirals make you overthink so much. They make you question everything. And I know it's difficult, but you have to be able to really sit back and sit still and just understand the entire situation for what it is. Remind yourself who you are the entire time. You are worth fighting for. You are worth that promotion. You are meant for bigger. And I won't sit here and say you're perfect because nobody is. But I know deep down, you know that you are better than what you're receiving. So even if you don't want to go through the work of figuring out exactly what happened in your life that made you accept less than you deserve, you don't have to go straight to that. You will eventually. But until then, you are still capable of making that decision to walk away from anything that is less than what you should have. You are capable of putting you first. You are capable of raising your standards instead of lowering your bar. Is misery loves company like almost too cliche to say on this? Maybe, but it's true. Here's a secret to it all. The people that try to drag you down with them, the people that try to keep you here when you're growing and doing more in life, it's because they aren't willing to do the same. The people that you put effort into and you're not receiving it back, it's not because anything's wrong with you. It's because they're not capable of giving the same thing that they're receiving. And you know what scares insecure people the absolute most in life? When they finally realize that they are not good enough for you. So when those friends in the family and your relationships, when they start running from you, just let them run. Don't step down that ladder backwards just to give them comfort. I know that you want to pour all of your empathy and your compassion into them, but you are going to once again find yourself pouring and pouring and pouring and fully draining yourself until you are completely nothing for somebody that just has a hole and it just keeps pouring right back out of them. You cannot fill somebody else. I want to remind you, the people that hurt you, the people that are talking bad about you, especially those people that don't even know anything about you, the bosses that take advantage of you and take you for granted, the family members that use you and then use you as punching bags, the friends that just take and never pour back into you. I just want to reiterate myself that this is not your fault. If this episode is a little clippy and all over the place, I did have to take a couple of breaks because there was an emergency. So if you're on YouTube and I look a little different, then sorry. If you're listening on any of my audio platforms, then you will have no idea. That's good. I'll be honest, I kind of have no idea where I even left off, but I know the basis of what we're talking about. I just really wanted to show prominence when it comes to self-worth and just really getting everybody to a better place of what they deserve. And although this is definitely something I've gone through before, it's not something that's really pertaining to my life in this exact moment. And I'm very calm about situations that I'm going through personally with myself. But I find a lot more frustration when it comes to the people that I love going through these things. It's just natural to hurt when other people are hurting. It's frustrating to see insecurities ruin people. And it just sucks that most of this world will lean more towards projecting all of their issues on everybody else instead of just sitting back and taking accountability for the way that they act and what they do. Is it easier to ignore everything? Yeah, obviously. Is that literally going to get you anywhere though? No. I also don't want to sit here and act like I don't feel for the people on the other side of this either. I'm just trying to get my bearings back together. I hate seeing people hurt. Oh, I'm just going to try to get back to how we learn not to take things personal from other people. And I do believe one of the biggest ways to do that is to become understanding. You don't have to know all of the details of what they've gone through or what they're going through, but to be understanding that there is something there that is creating them to act this way. And it's very easy for me because when I'm going through it, that's just my default. That's where my mind goes, is understanding the situation for what it is. Now, why this topic became difficult is because I am very protective over the people around me and I become a little less understanding. So, lesson learned, looks like it's something I got to go through. So, from a good heart, the actions that they have created through their insecurities, try to step out of the emotional state of mind that their actions have put you in. In no way am I saying don't feel them at all. Just try to step back for a second and see this objectively, especially when it's in the moment. Of course, the last thing that you want to do is kind of stoop to that level and start reacting based on those emotions. We want to lean into these experiences with more of a calm logic mindset than an emotional mindset. You just can't fight fire with fire no matter how hard we try. And if you are seeing that emotions are rising really high in any conversation or conflict or communication that you're going through, understand that it is okay to walk away from any situation. I know most people want to stay and they want to fight and they want to get their point across and they want the other person to understand exactly where they're coming from. A lot of the times, though, when you are going through situations like this, you're just not in a space that that other person can understand where you're coming from. When you are in a heightened emotion, and that's what you're talking through, you are always going to have a lesser chance of becoming on the same page. And I don't mean this is only with conflict going on with another person. Try to utilize this with any emotional experience that you're going through. Teach yourself to become aware of when those emotions arise and be able to step back and start balancing your emotional and your logical mindset. Because the only thing that this is going to do is bring peace into this experience for you. The understanding that you have no control over anybody's emotion besides yours. You cannot control how somebody acts, but you can control how you react to it. And if it is painful, there is a time to mourn. There is a time to go through it. There's a time to feel all of it. But those moments are for you and for the people that love you to experience that together. That's why we lean on people that care about us, that understand what we're going through. That's why we lean on people for clarity and for a new perspective. The more you grow in life and the better that you become and the more that you reach your highest potential, you are going to find a lot of things that start faltering in your life that you might have thought was forever. The way you carry yourself starts intimidating people. You may start hearing people talking poorly of you that you just don't feel has a reason to do so. Unhappy people will start hating you. You will learn about negative balance so fast. When people start talking down on you, when you feel like people are still trying to push you down or degrade you, or talk about the past or hold you to a standard that just isn't you anymore. Because most people that are on that different mindset don't see the capabilities that they have. They don't feel that self-worth. They don't feel that confidence or the self-love or the knowing that they can get there too. So they either beat you down or they push you away or they try to keep you to the ground. And the higher that your self-love goes and the higher your self-worth goes, the care of any of that starts falling away. It doesn't become an effort any longer to fight to be who you truly are or to know who you truly are. It just stays natural. You stay unbothered. There is absolutely no reason in this world for you to allow any other human being to control how you feel about yourself. And what else comes so easily with self-worth is those boundaries that you fight to set in place in your life. The peace, the unbotheredness, even the whole point of training your brain to not take things personal. It just becomes natural. The understanding of why there's less people in your life. You have less fear to make changes because you know you deserve better. Nothing in this life is worth begging for, nor is anything that is meant for you or aligned with you ever going to be needed to be begged for. I hate so much to do this, but I unfortunately think it's time for me to wrap up this episode for now. I know I have so much more to say, and I will. And although the changes that I've made aren't fully implemented at the moment and are still in the works, I know there are a lot of things that are trying to stop me and trying to test me and trying to roadblock me from making sure that these get sent every week. And I know that these episodes won't be perfect for the moment, but in no way, shape, or form will I stop fighting for myself. And at the very least, I hope I can be honest about all of that. That way, whatever you're going through that you feel like is still being roadblocked, you can keep pushing with me past every single one of those tests that you go through. And when the dust settles, I'll have a little more for you guys next week. But until then, thank you for sticking by my side. Thank you even more for bearing with me. We got this, guys. You got this. Have the most incredible day and weekend and week. And I guess I'm going to go deal with this stuff now. So I love you guys. Always and always be present, be calm, and be a creature. I will see you guys next week.